So then, yeah, the other day.
No, we were the other day to go see what year.
Oh shit, man, need to go check. Oh shit, we've been already. Actually, it's not the same. Is it the same one there? It's not the same.
It's like one time to you get me.
Yeah, that's one of them ones that you don't want to overdo it.
Well, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Well, easy.
Are we live?
Yeah. You like being live? Hit the mute.
We off mute.
Yeah.
All right. It's the I.S.U.P.K Wednesday law class. Also, remember, check out Commanding General YAHANNA's radio show, which is Monday, 2 a.m. UK time. And also, there's classes in America, Monday through Friday, midnight UK time. And also, we have classes in the UK, which is history class Monday, Brotherhood Tuesday, law class Wednesday, scripture breakdown Thursday. And Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have those in the Birmingham school, which is 394 Lodge Road, B18, 5PW. Also, the class, Tuesday class, the Brotherhood class, that's online. So you can go on YouTube and watch that on YouTube, Facebook. Friday, we'll also have a radio show, which is on the ends. If you got any interesting stories and whatnot, you can just email them to us and we'll cover them. Like if you come across anything in the news or whatever, any stories you want the priests and prophets to break down, just email them, or just hit one of the brothers up in the school with the story, and then it will get gone over on the ends. So today we're gonna go into how the men of Christ suffer the same things that Christ suffered, man. Like the thing is with church, they have you believe that Christ was just, everybody loved him. Everybody loved him, and when you read the Bible, you'll see that everybody hated him, man.
That's right.
Right. When you read the Bible, you'll see that they all hated him. They all conspired against him. No one liked him. Some of his men left him. No man wanted to be around him. Like you see all that in the Bible, man. So how is it that in 2021, people are making you believe that everybody loved Christ, man? That everybody was down for him and everybody wanted to serve him. The thing is these gospel songs you hear in church, and in church, who they're reverencing ain't Jesus Christ, man. Ain't the Christ of the Bible. They're reverencing Caesar Borgia, man. The same people, black people's reverencing back then, the white man, they're still reverencing our oppressor today, man. Nothing's changed. All these songs that they're singing in church, they're singing those to our oppressor. All of this, lift me up and take me to the king. His joy I like to bring. You heard that nonsense song, innit? Take me to the king. His joy I like to bring. Can't remember the woman's name. Listen, she sang her ass off, man. Have you heard it? No, she hit the vocals. Listen, she hit the vocals, man. It's the same. It's a shame. What she's singing about ain't true. She's saying, "Take me to the king, his joy I like to bring." And really, she's singing that to a white man, man. Like Whitney Houston when she was singing "I Will Always Love You." That was her best song. And who was she singing it to? The white man in The Bodyguard, man. Whereas white men, and this is how you know Jesus Christ was a black man, man, and not no white man. And this is how you know they were singing them songs towards in church towards our oppressor. You know why? Because black men I don't think black men hardly got a song that references black men, man. If there is any song that references black men, you need to let me know. Now, to my understanding, I believe there's probably less than 5 that references black men, man. But the songs that black men do get sung is No Scrubs.
That's right.
T-Boz sang No Scrubs, man. She sang No Scrubs, and guess what happened? She's bankrupt, man. She filed bankruptcy like 3 times. And you know what else she said? You know what she said to the judge? I'm waiting on 250 grand in child support. Sounds like she let a scrub deal with her to me. Sounds like T-Boz had sex with one of the scrubs she was telling other women not to get with. Sounds like T-Boz doesn't take her own advice, man. Because she's a hypocrite, man. In that song, she's talking about, passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me, a scrub. Exactly. Now T-Boz is on the bus, man. She's bankrupt, filing bankruptcy. Meanwhile, she was making all them songs, man, dissing black men when really she didn't have a pot to piss in, man. And this is why sometimes just watch your mouth, man, or you end up like T-Boz, man. Right. End up bankrupt like T-Boz, and we see you on the internet. But we're going to read the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Meaning, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, man. Who gave it to him? The Lord gave it to him, man. Who gave the earth into the hand of the Egyptians in their time? The Lord, man. Now, this white man, don't think that this devil rules over you because he's so smart, because he's so much better than you, because he's been to Oxford University. Don't think those things why he rules the earth, man. It's not. The Bible says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, which is letting you know, man, the earth ain't the white man's. It was given into his hand by somebody, man.
That's right.
It was given into his hand by somebody, which is the Lord. This whole earth belongs to the Lord, man. But when people say it's a white man's world, we on about like how to run it, the government, the police force, the justice system. Whereas it is a white man's world, man. And they had to kill Christ, man. Why? Because Christ was a black man and they wanted a white man's world, man. They wanted the Romans ruling. And the black people at the time, they wanted Christ dead as well. Why? Because they didn't want to lose their seat with the Romans. They wanted to do what? Be a good slave, serve our oppressor, do everything that he asks. And in order for them to do that, they had to get Christ out the way, man. And in order for them to live and enjoy their life, they had to get Christ out the way. Same way, they're trying to get the I.S.U.P.K out the way, man. Now, how many times at camp do our own brothers come up to us, man, wanting to fight us, man? When we tell them, yo, Jesus is black, they want to fight us, man. I've seen brothers come to camp, man, almost cry when we tell them that Jesus Christ is a black man. And they ain't crying with happiness, they're crying with anger, man. As to say, what do you like know? And then they always come with that same narrative, get a job, get a job, get a job. Listen, man, you're telling us get a job, and you know there's not even hardly any jobs out there, man. And how do you know we ain't got a job? You ain't never sat down with us on a personal level, man. Everyone's always like, get a job, you bums. Listen, man, the camp equipment don't pay for itself, man. The fuel and all them things don't pay for itself, man. The Bible says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. Meaning he covers the faces of the judges, man. Who's the judges? The Israelites. Meaning what? We meant to judge this earth and so forth, man. We meant to be the judges in your court system. Everybody's supposed to come to us when they've got a quarrel, man. Or when they've got a qualms. They're meant to come to us. Because why? We the judges, man. We have the answers. We have the answers from the Bible, man. And listen, man. And this is how you know our oppressor runs this earth horribly, man. Listen, I seen 2 homosexuals the other day, man. And they were shouting and one of them said, and what if I'm gay? It's 2021. Like he said it so proudly. He said, and what if I'm gay? It's 2021. He's like, I'm gay and my life's bliss. He said, meaning his life's blessed. Listen, man, your life ain't gonna be blessed when them AIDS comes, man.
That's right.
You ain't gonna be blessed when you're on the AIDS ward, man.
That's the what's it?
Rolling Rays, that's Rolling Rays, man. Burnt up his week. Did you see his he come on Instagram? Did you see his face?
Yeah, what, man?
His face is burnt up, and you know what he said? He goes, people said this is karma. He said, people said this is karma. Well, if it was karma, plenty of people's died and I'm still alive. Like this homosexual is just not getting the point.
Was that video?
That one, it's on. He put that one on Instagram. It might still be on there. I don't know if it was on the story or just on. Actually, someone put it on the shade bar or the shade room, so it should be on there. He goes. His exact words was, "There's plenty of people that are dead and I'm still alive," and he thinks the Lord loves him, man. He thinks the Lord loves him. Now, because he wants to put on a wig, and these wigs have what? Loads of chemicals in there. These wigs have loads of chemicals in there, man, that burn up. And now, this what's his name? Rolling what?
Rolling Ray.
Now he's just what's his name? Bun up brain. Let me put this book up. And now this man, he's basically thinking the Lord's with him, not realizing, yo, that was a wake up sign, man. That was a wake up sign, man, for him to change his life, man. Like for him to change his life and whatnot. But the way Rolling Ray is right now, man. Rolling Ray right now, he's the perfect man to join the IUIC, man. He's the perfect man to join the GOCC. He will see many more people like himself in there. So Rolling Ray, if you're looking for a place, that's where you can go. There's plenty more people like him in there, man. There's what? Right. There's plenty more people like him in there, man. He'll fit right in. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Meaning, if this man ain't the wicked, then who is, man? I mean, how do black people see how our oppressor lives? and not see that he's the wicked. If you can't see this man's the wicked, then you ain't got no vision, man. You ain't got no vision. All you need to do is turn on the news, man. Turn on the news and go on YouTube, man. See what every oppressor thinks about you. If you can't tell that this man is the wicked, then where and who is he? If this man ain't the wicked, I mean, then who is the wicked, man? I mean, who drops bombs on children, man? Who shoots people when they ain't even got no weapon on them, when they're not no threat, man? Who hangs black men off trees?
That's right.
Who makes them work sun up to sundown? Who whips their back and sells their babies to other plantations, man? Like having a man as a slave is bad enough, but why do you have to beat him and kill him, man? Why do you have to do that part? Only this oppressor does that part, man. Like he gets a kick out of making two black men fight each other. Like he loves it. He makes two black men fight each other. He used to make black men get drunk and fight each other, man. And that was his sport, man. He loved it. And then what happens? Black people kept fighting each other until later on the white man wants to get involved in it, and he just keeps getting knocked out left, right, and center. Now you got what? Boxing. Now you got kickboxing. And Esau just can't win in nothing he does, man. Meanwhile, most people look at him like, we want to be him. Like there's that video where they had the children saying that the black dolls are ugly and the black dolls are evil. Based off what they've seen growing up in their life, man. These are children about 5, 6 years old. Now, they've said that off their own back based off what they've seen growing up, man. That's why it's very important. We need to teach our children who the wicked is, man. That's right. And who the devil is on the face of the earth. We need to teach our children that, because if we don't teach them that, they're going to look at them dolls and be like, you know what? Being white with blue eyes is beautiful. And then what's going to happen? Your children are going to grow up and then get with one of them, and then they're going to believe they've got a trophy, man. They're going to parade them around like a trophy, man. Lenny Henry's got some white woman in it. Yeah, she's what? French. And listen, man, she looks terrible, man. You'd think Lenny Henry with all that money would have chose better, man. Lenny Henry with all that money still chose what? One of the horriblest women out there, man. One of the horriblest women out there. You see his daughter in the paper about a month ago for stalking her boyfriend. She made fake accounts and stalked him. Some nonsense like that. It's weird, man. And listen, man. Lenny Henry should have chose better. But growing up, that's your personification of beauty. And this is why it's very right that we teach our children what beauty really is. And they ain't allowed to marry outside of their race. But they should get a suspended prison sentence. 6th of May here. Damn. See, Lenny Henry's daughter tried to bribe the man, tried to what? Offer him 40 grand to be with her, man. Listen, man, don't. This is why here. Really, she's letting that behavior from him. I can't even blame Lenny Henry for that. But we're going to jump to the next precept. We're going to go to, give me John chapter 19 and verse 1. Yeah, she stalked him. They said that she stalked him, yeah, and then he called the police on her. And yeah, some nonsense like that.
John 19 and 1.
Lucky. And another thing, man, don't stalk someone. If someone don't want to be with you, man, just let them go, man. Like, imagine that. Can you imagine pretending to be somebody else trying to get your partner back? Imagine there's some people that lie to get their partner back. Oh, I've just been diagnosed with this illness. You do all of that to get you, but if they don't want to be with you, man, good riddance, man. Just let them go. Don't fake all these symptoms to get them back. Yeah, man. Don't fake all these symptoms to get them back. Listen, let me give you a famous one. When a man usually falls out with his woman, all of a sudden they gotta go to hospital. You know that all of a sudden they gotta go to hospital. Listen, man. I see all of these, man. I'm on the internet. Listen, we got Instagram. We see all of these things, man. So what? You've gone to the hospital? Why? Something serious, but really, it's just childish, man. If someone don't want to be with you, they don't want to be with you. You can't force them. You can't fake a panic attack. You can't fake that you're ill. You can't fake you got illnesses. If they don't want to be with you, man, they just don't want to be with you. Because what happens is once you get all over it, man, you're gonna feel silly, man. So if someone don't want to be with you, fine, man. Keep your dignity. That's it, man. Give me John chapter 19 and verse 1.
John 19 and 1. Then Pilate therefore took Yahushua and scourged him.
And now, these is like what? Pilate, these is like the authorities back then, and they took Christ and scourged him. Go ahead. I mean, they beat him and whatnot. Go ahead.
And the soldiers plaited a crown of thorns and
so to mock him, they plaited a crown of thorns. Why? Because a king usually wears a crown. A king usually wears a crown, and they gave him thorns, man, which is sharp and whatnot. They plaited a crown of thorns and put it on his head. Go ahead.
and put it on his head, and they put on him a purple robe.
So they put it on his head and they put on him a purple robe. So they put thorns on his head and put a purple robe on him. Go ahead.
And said, "Hail, King of the Jews!"
And they mocked him, man. So they put the crown of thorns on him, the purple robe on him, and they mocked him and said, "Oh, hail the King of the Jews!" Like those mocking him, those clowning him and whatnot. And when we at camp, what do you have? People trying to clown us, man. People trying to clown us. People laughing at our garments, saying, "Ah, look what you lot are wearing. You lot are grown men dressing like that." Listen, man, they done the same thing to Christ, but this is right before Christ was to die, man. Now, if everybody loved him, surely everybody could have said, nah, you ain't gonna take this, man.
That's right.
Like the Christian church make out like everybody loved him, when the truth is, he had more haters than people that loved him, man.
That's right.
He had more people that hated him than actual people that loved him. And this is letting you know, man. Go ahead.
Khan. And they said, "Hail the King of the Jews," and smote him with their hands.
And they were slapping him, punching him, man. They was assaulting him, man. Like what people tried to do to who? The Kentucky 8, man.
That's right.
Like what people tried to do to the Kentucky 8.
That's right.
Like what people try to do to us at camp when they come and kick the signs, man. Some she tried to throw down one of the chairs at camp one of the days, man. Which one was it that threw down that? Was that the she?
Money.
Try to throw down one of the chairs, man. People trying to fight us. Why? Because we preaching the words of the Lord and they don't want to hear it. And Christ was preaching the words of the Most High also, man. And they didn't want to hear it, kind of like today. When you tell your grandma the truth about the Bible, she don't want to hear it, man. And she holds some indignation towards you. She's bitter towards you and hates you, man. Why? Because you told her what the Lord really said. Meaning, your whole life, you've listened to your grandma lie to you about the Bible. And you ain't mad at her. But when you find out the truth, you try and correct her. And your grandma's mad at you saying, "He's got a demon, don't bring him." Listen, they said all them same things to Christ, man.
That's right.
They said that Christ had a demon, man. They said that Christ was a drunkard and had a demon and all of them things and is doing these works through Beelzebub and whatnot. Same thing that the people say to us. People say, "You lot operate in darkness. That's not the spirit of the Lord." Listen, man. This is the spirit of the Lord, man. What isn't the spirit of the Lord is what Rolling Rays is doing, man. Is what the Christian church is doing, man.
That's right.
Is what the mosque is doing. That's what's not the spirit of the Lord. But the Bible says what? They put darkness for light and light for dark. They put good for evil and evil for good, man. So they wouldn't agree with us. They would say what we're doing is evil because that's written in the Bible, man. Which one was you trying to find, the Rolling Ray one? It should be. It's probably was on the story, but it should definitely be on there. You found it? Yeah, you need that one for the week. Says, and said, "Hail, King of the Jews."
And said, "Hail the King of the Jews," and they smote him with their hands. And Pilate therefore went forth again and said unto them, "Behold, I bring him forth to you, that ye may know that I find no fault in him."
That what?
I find no fault in him.
And listen, man, that's one thing that you need to be in the I.S.U.P.K is blameless, man. That's what we strive to be in here, is blameless, man. Even this devil said, "I find no fault in him," man. Saying like when the police come out to the camp, what? And people saying, "Shut them down." The police can't. Why? Because there's no fault in us, man.
That's right.
We ain't breaking no laws. We ain't out there doing nothing wrong. We out there with the Bible, man. We ain't out there with guns and knives and weapons and whatnot. We out there with the word of the Lord, man.
That's right.
And Christ was blameless. That's what it said here. "I find no fault in him." Now, if you're a drug dealer, then there's fault in you, man.
That's right.
If you got drugs, then what? Then the Romans would have the right to take you, man. If you're a criminal, they would have the right to take you.
That's right.
If you're buying prostitutes and having sex with underage girls and all of them things, then they would have the right to take you. But they found no fault in Christ, man. Meaning this man ain't done nothing wrong. Meaning black people did what? Wanted him killed and he done nothing wrong. And that sounds like what people want to happen to the I.S.U.P.K today, man.
That's right.
We do nothing wrong, and what do people do? Call the police on us? I just thought you called the police when the crime's committed. Now, they call the police on us and we ain't committing no crime. The police come, the police ask the person, what's your problem? They be like, oh wow, they're shouting. Listen, man, we allowed to shout, man. It's not a crime to shout. It ain't a crime to shout, man. And guess what happens? The police come to us and do nothing, man. Why? Because we out there, we ain't breaking no laws. We keeping the laws of the Most High. We keeping the laws of the land. And people still want to get us shut down, man. Calling the police, telling lies on us. One time some devil stole remember the devil that stole the water off the table?
Oh,
she stole the water off the table, man. And she's flagging like down the police like we done something wrong, man. She should have been locked up for that. She stole the water off the table and had the cheek to drink the water, man. Listen, most of these people bother us, man. We don't bother nobody. They all bother us and they make out that we the problem. Go ahead.
Come. Pilate therefore went forth again and said unto them, behold, I bring him forth to you, that ye may know I find no fault in him.
And Pilate said, you know what? Because the people, so much people there said, you know what? I ain't going to do it. I bring him forth to you because I don't find no fault in him. Meaning, Pilate couldn't find no fault in him to crucify him, man. He couldn't find no reason to kill him because he's saying, all right, he ain't broken no law. He ain't done whatnot. The thing is, all these Pharisees and these high priests that was saying kill Christ, they was the ones breaking all the laws, man. They was the ones doing things that they shouldn't be doing. Saying like how your grandma wants to argue with us. Your grandma's doing things she shouldn't be doing, man. Eating pork, shrimp, having an affair with the pastor. All that. Your grandma's doing things she shouldn't be doing, man. And they've got the cheek to make out like what? We the problems. When there's no fault in us. Go ahead.
Then Yahushua came forth wearing a crown of thorns and a purple robe. And Pilate said unto them, behold the man. When the chief priests therefore and the officers saw him, they cried out saying, crucify him.
Cried out saying what?
Crucify him.
They're saying crucify him. They're saying kill him, man. Meaning they wanted an innocent man that was doing the work of the Lord to get killed, man. Which lets you know these Pharisees, man, didn't have the spirit of the Lord, man.
That's right.
All they knew was the law. Like all they knew how to punish you for breaking the law. They didn't keep it themselves, but they punish you for breaking the law. Kind of like what certain police officers do. You think it's lies when people say police rob their money. Police really do rob their money. Police see this person's got money, rough them up and take their money, man. Everybody knows that's what the police are doing. There's always corrupt cops, man. And there was corrupt Pharisees and whatnot, man. They weren't following. They weren't following the Bible. They weren't following the Old Testament, which they claimed they believed in. They claimed they believed in Moses. They weren't following Moses. Because Moses wrote of Christ, man. And if there was following Moses, they would have followed Yahushua. Yeah, go ahead.
It's lucky, like what you said, like police try to enforce the law and don't keep it themselves. There's like 4 policemen that got what? Charged £200 fine each for being in a cafe. I've seen that.
I didn't see it. that new one.
Yeah.
Hold on. So who gave them the fine? Other police officers.
Yeah.
Damn.
9 hours ago.
9 police officers. Damn. 9 police officers fined for eating at a cafe. Listen, man. The police don't even keep the same law that they tell you to keep, man. Like the police tell you stay in your house. Listen, we don't get to eat at cafes. No one's meant to eat at cafes. Exactly. What cafes even allowing people in at the moment? They're eating at cafes, man. And they make out like black people's the problem and so forth. This is the thing, man. Police tell you to do something that they don't really believe. And that's with everything, man. And this is why the I.S.U.P.K is so great. Why? Because what we tell you to do, we actually do it, man. What we tell you not to do, we don't do it either. We ain't like these police officers or like these Pharisees that tell you one thing and go and do the other. Go ahead.
Come. Pilate said unto them, take ye him and crucify him, for I find no fault in him.
He said what?
Take ye him and crucify him, for I find no fault in him.
And Pilate said, you know what? You like take him and crucify him because I don't find no fault in him, man. I don't find no fault in them. And this right here is what used to happen back in the days, man. You know, when police used to just give people over to the lynch mob. It's the same kind of thing, man. They just, Pilate said, you know what, he couldn't deal with it. He just gave Christ over, man, to those people that was ready to kill him. Go ahead.
Verse 7, the Jews answered him, we have a law.
The Jews said what?
We have a law.
This is the thing, man. They said we have a law. And they do have a law, but they don't even keep the law, man.
That's right.
There's no point in them mentioning that they have a law because they don't keep the law, man.
That's right.
That's like you driving 70 miles per hour and wanting to punish someone else, talking about we have a speed limit. Listen, man. They don't follow the law don't even apply to them because they don't keep it, man. Now they have a law. While these Pharisees is robbing everyone and lying and committing adultery and whatnot, at that stage they didn't have a law. Where was the law then? At that stage they didn't have a law, man. But now they're saying here we have a law, and this is the thing, man. The Bible says you have to follow all of them, man. Like these men here think they can follow one and break the rest, or follow two and break the rest. It don't work like that, man. You have to keep them all. Now there's gonna be some that you don't like. You have to keep them all, man. Who cares what you like, man? Like who cares what you like? You just have to do what the Lord says. Who cares that you like pork? Well, you have to give it up, man. Or you can like pork and you can die eating pork, man. You can get tapeworms and all of them things, man. Eating pork. So you keep doing it, man. Who cares what you like? You need to give up what you like if it goes against the Lord, man. For you loving the Most High in Christ, you have to give up what the Lord hates, man. And the Lord hates people eating pork, man. Like Muslims have got this weird concept that what Christ is going to come back and destroy all the pigs. Listen, man. Pigs ain't evil, man. Pigs ain't bad. Pigs serve a purpose, man. Pigs was like what the garbage disposers. Like obviously people make it like pigs are evil. The thing is this, man. If Christ was going to come and destroy all the pigs, that means he would have to come and destroy all the horses, all the camels.
Right.
Understand this? Every animal has its purpose, man. And pigs' purpose is not to be food. So Muslims see that and think that means pigs are evil and he's going to destroy all the pigs. Listen, pigs had their purpose, man. But what happened is what? People decided they want to eat them. People decided they want to have pigs in blanket. Have you seen it where they wrap the bacon around the sausage? Pigs in blankets. And jet pork and whatnot, man. And you got to be careful with some of these food shops because I believe they put the jet pork on the same grill.
Yeah, that would be.
Like, see,
They do too. You know Jamaican.
yeah, 100% they do too. Because with them, they don't see it as a problem. It's like you, if you're cooking two meats that you eat, you don't mind mixing the appliances. Why? Because you eat those two meats. So be careful where what places you go in, man. You'll see them pick up the pork with the tongue and turn it over. Then they pick up the chicken with the tongue and turn it over, man. And the only way you know that your food is completely clean is what? By cooking it yourself or getting it from the I.S.U.P.K, man.
That's right.
By getting it from the I.S.U.P.K, man. Don't worry. Soon we're gonna be start selling food, man. Don't worry. Give it credit. They don't even know there's a restaurant in the. Listen, let me just carry on. Use that with a C when there's a restaurant pop up. There's a restaurant in the works though. You'll see.
God.
Where no pork won't be on the grill, no pork won't be on the menu, no tuna, no lobster, no seafood boils, which look so disgusting, man. Like, how do people eat them? Do you just put their hand in the bag?
What, you mean the pepper prawns in that?
Yeah, the seafood
I see man
boils.
just put his hand in the pepper prawn bag. Like,
Yeah.
after a party, they got pepper prawns and just
Yeah.
pull the head off and eat them and shit.
Ain't the bag all wet and that and with full of seasoning on the side and stuff?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Like growing up, was allergic to it, so we never tried that
Never
shit.
had it in my life. Yeah. Listen, living under this oppressor, man, our diets have become strange, man. The Lord must be looking down, not saying, damn, because our diets have become strange, eating prawns, shrimp, crab, lobster, eating everything that the Lord said we shouldn't be eating. Those are the things that we're eating now. And now, lobster is what? Known as what? Luxury.
Yeah.
You take a woman out, you tell her steak, she's going to look at you sideways, man. She wants lobster, man. You tell her you ain't getting lobster on my money, man. Be a man about it and say, yo, you ain't getting lobster on my money. Don't just get the lobster to please her. Tell her, listen, man, you ain't getting that lobster on my money. You tell her that, man. Tell her, listen, this is what you're allowed to have. Lobster's not one of them. Go ahead.
Khan, we have a law, and by our law he ought to die.
They said what?
By our law he ought to die.
By that same law, all of us is meant to die, man.
That's right.
Every last one of us is meant to die by that law, man. So them saying that they should have dropped dead on the spot, if that's the case, all of us is meant to die by that law he's talking about. Go ahead.
He made himself the Son of God.
He made himself the Son of God. Listen, man. That's how you know they didn't understand what Christ was talking about, man. They don't understand the scriptures. In here, we the sons of God also, man. It tells you that in the book of Romans, we the sons of God. Listen, man. Even in the book of Exodus, it goes, I've called Israel my firstborn, man. The Lord called Israel his sons, man. They didn't understand the scriptures, man. They're saying he made himself the Son of God. Like, they didn't understand what the hell Christ was talking about. Plenty of times Christ said stuff that went over people's heads. Saying like in here, when we say the virgin birth ain't true, that goes over people's heads, man.
That's right.
But if your woman come home to you and said, yeah, don't worry, just last night, the Lord came to me and said, I'm pregnant. Don't worry, we ain't had sex yet. Listen, it's like a woman coming up to you in the street saying, you know what, we ain't had sex yet, but the Lord told me I'm gonna have your baby, and you're gonna look at her like, what the hell are you on about? That's what you like. You listen to Christianity and it dumbs you down. Things which you would know ain't correct. Christianity teaches you to accept it, man. Christianity teaches you to accept things that don't make no sense, man. Like, if Christ didn't have a father, he couldn't be born, man. You know why? Because in order for a child to be born, they take what? 23 chromosomes from the man and 23 from the mom. And the man has the X and Y, man. So if Mary had that child on her own, it would have made more sense that Christ would have came out a girl, because a woman has what? 2 X's. Yeah. A woman has 2 X's, man. So obviously a man has an X and Y, which even science lets you know, man, that the virgin birth is impossible. But you're believing some garbage, man, that ain't true. Listen, man, pick up a biology book, man. Get a DNA chromosome book, man. And did you know in order to survive, you have to what? Have all the right amount of chromosomes. If you got 1 too much or 1 too less, you have like Down syndrome or you don't function properly. Science even tells you that. So you mean to tell me Christ was walking around with 23 chromosomes? Don't make no sense, man. It doesn't make no sense, man. And all of these next things that people that fake Israelites make you believe that a man can be half human and half horse. It's not true, man. It's not true. I'm going to tell you why. You know why? Because horses and humans have a different amount of chromosomes, man. And in order for you to mate with someone, you have to what? Have the same amount of chromosomes. Even certain and even different type of rodents have different chromosomes, so they can't even mate. Different rodents have different chromosomes, so they can't even mate, meaning they can't mix. So you mean to tell me a man can mix with a horse? Listen, it's all garbage, man. Look up DNA and a biology book, and you will see that half these things you've learned in your whole life ain't true. All of this half human, half horse, the mermaid, these things ain't true, man. A human cannot mate with a whale, man. Whales have the same amount of chromosomes as other whales, and that's why they mate. And a human could never mate with it, man. And this is why Esau has sex with his dog every day, and this is why there's no babies, man. Why? Because they got a different amount of chromosomes, man. Let the devil be the proof, man. You know they're having sex with their dogs, and ain't no half dog, half human. Why? Because it can't happen, man. According to biology. Listen, we read biology books in here, man. People think we just read the Bible and nothing else. People think we just read the Bible. Listen, man, you come here with your science or biology, we'll kill you with biology as well, man. That's right. We'll kill you with history. Right, exactly.
It's like
the amount of children we got, we know biology, man. Listen,
right, exactly, right.
We ain't looking after no kids that ain't ours, man.
Right, exactly.
Christians will look after a kid that ain't theirs. Why? Because they believe in the virgin birth. We know girl clans, man. We don't go like that, man. We know biology well, man. Anyone gonna pull that on us?
You ain't gonna fall for that nonsense. Listen, man, you don't believe us. We'll beat you with biology. We'll beat you with history. And we'll beat you in a fist fight as well. So we'll beat you any way possible, man.
That's right.
We'll beat you any way possible, from a fist fight to biology.
That's right.
Everybody gets the hint. We'll beat you anywhere it goes. Go ahead.
Khan. The Jews answered, we have a law, and by our law he ought to die, because he made himself the Son of God. When Pilate therefore heard that saying, he was the more afraid.
So Pilate heard it saying he was more afraid, so he went back to go ask Christ. All right, then. Let me find out. Let me find out. Is this true? So he goes to Christ. Go ahead.
And again into the judgment hall, and said unto Yahushua, whence art thou? But Yahushua gave him no answer.
Christ didn't give him no answer, man. Christ didn't give him no answer. Christ had a mission. Christ knew that he was ready to die, man. And Christ didn't give this man no answer. Go ahead.
Yahushua answered, then Pilate, speakest thou not unto me?
Listen, man. Christ gave a no comment. Like in the police station, is a no comment interview.
No comment.
Christ gave a no comment interview, man. He wasn't saying nothing. It was just no comment, man. Go ahead. Listen, man. This is where the original no comment came from. No comment, man. You're in front of them authorities. Christ didn't even comment, man. Go ahead.
Knowest thou not I have the power to crucify thee?
He said what?
Know ye not that I have the power to crucify thee?
And this is one thing. Don't ever let this oppressor believe he's got the power to do anything, man. He ain't got the power to do anything. That power comes from the Lord, man. Whatever happens is because the Lord wants it to happen. Don't look at them like they're great and they're this and so forth. Listen, man. Christ is going to set this man straight. Go ahead.
And have the power to release thee?
And listen, man. Every time I go to court, man, before the truth, when I was in court, man, I remember this one precept, man. This one right here. I was reading it one day and it said, yo, I've got the power to relate. You get me? And I read Christ's response, man. Like at first, you go to court thinking, this devil's got the power to do all these things and whatnot. Go ahead. You think this devil's got the power to lock you up and release you and whatnot? Go ahead.
Yahushua answered, thou couldst not, thou couldst have power at all against me, except it were given thee from above.
And listen, man, this devil's got this power from above, meaning what? The Lord gave him this power for a time, man. And then the Lord's going to do what? Show his power when he brings them down, man.
That's right.
Like the Lord's raising them up like he did the Egyptians. Like the Egyptians, they thought what? That they were so great. And it's all them. Why they're flourishing. Why they're making all this money. Why they're so rich. They thought it was all them. That's what they thought. Until what? The Lord showed up, man. And turned things upside down. And who even goes to Egypt on a holiday right now? Nobody, man.
That's right.
Egypt ain't even ain't even a holiday destination, man. Who even goes to Egypt right now? Apart from the GOCC, but go ahead. Who even goes there?
So even they abandoned that whole theory now. Even they want to be back. Even they want to be back in England. So thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. Therefore, he that delivered me unto thee have greater sin.
Meaning what? Judas, man. Meaning don't be a sellout, man. Everybody that talks about, oh, I left the truth for this reason. Understand this, man. When you leave the truth and you're reading the Bible and you reading about Judas, you're Judas, man. Have you noticed nobody don't think the Judas? Like nobody thinks the Judas, man. You are Judas if you've left the truth, man. If you've left the truth and you are on Facebook, all this nonsense and talking all this nonsense, you are Judas, man. You are Judas and you don't know it, man. The thing is this, you're so oblivious to the fact that you and Judas is the same person. You're thinking that, this was the truth, but I'm just going to leave and go do the truth elsewhere. Listen, man, that's some nonsense. That's not true, man. That's like Christ's men leaving him and saying, don't worry, we're going to still be in the truth, just not with you. Listen, man, Christ said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life, man. If you ain't with him, you ain't in the truth if you're not with him. And if you ain't in the I.S.U.P.K, you ain't in the truth, man. It's that simple. I don't care how much scriptures you know, how much scriptures you think you're applying. The thing is this, if you ain't, or you see all them scriptures that you think you're applying, If you ain't in the I.S.U.P.K, you ain't applying them scriptures, man. The Bible says, gather yourself together. And you mean to tell me that, okay, so you mean to tell me the Lord was with the I.S.U.P.K at one stage, established the school, and then everybody once left, and now the Lord said, all right, then I'll deal with it. It don't work like that, man. There was fake Israelite groups in the time of Christ. There's fake Israelite groups in the time of Moses, man. And the Lord dealt with them. Them men did what? The earth opened up. Those same people are here today, man. Those same people that was in the wilderness is these same people who's sitting up in some fake Israelite group right now, man.
That's right.
And the ground's already opened up for them fake Israelite groups, man. Imagine one of your members having sex with a transsexual and shooting him, man. Listen, man. You should know that's not the truth, man. Joy Morgan getting killed in one of these fake Israelite groups. You should know that's not the truth, man. In here, we protect sisters, man. Like a sister's meant to come in here and what? Feel protected. Not get killed and body buried in the woods somewhere. With a body buried in the woods somewhere. Listen, man. This is why it's very important that you be in the I.S.U.P.K. The Lord's showing you that it's not with these fake Israelite groups. Who is all Judas undercover. Like, people read about Judas and think it doesn't relate to them. If you've left the truth, it relates to you, man. Go ahead.
And from thenceforth Pilate sought to release him, but the Jews cried out, saying, if thou let this man go, thou art not Caesar's friend.
Listen, man, they love the white man. They did, man. They said, if you let him go, you're not Caesar's friend, man. Meaning, Caesar's in charge, and that's who we reverence. And if you let this man go, you ain't Caesar's friend, man. Like, now they're applying pressure. Now they're putting pressure on him, man. And it usually happens when you put pressure on people, they break and just give you whatever you want. Whereas homosexuals have put pressure on so much people that what? Now they marry people in churches, man. Why? Because your pastor broke under that pressure. Listen, you won't ever see no gay marriage taking place in here, man.
That's right.
Never, ever, ever. You won't see Roland Ray with a wig in here, man.
That's right.
Never, ever, ever. But in church, they've gave into the pressure, man. And now that's why what? Homosexuals can say it's 2021 now. Like the makeup, like, that's so old-fashioned. Listen, man. This is the thing. This is the thing. Nowadays, people are accepting of everything. Like, you back when we was growing up in Jamaica, you couldn't be a homosexual, man.
That's right.
They would come stone you. They'll come drag you out your house and whatnot. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Come, whosoever maketh himself a king speaketh against Caesar.
Whosoever what?
Maketh himself a king speaketh against Caesar.
Whosoever maketh himself a king speaketh against Caesar, man. And when we say, yo, with the Israelites, man, they look at us like we've spoke against their God, man. They want to tell us that Christ is a white man. They want to tell us, you ain't no real Jew. Why aren't we real Jews? Look how you living. That's the nonsense to say. Look how you living. Listen, man, the Jews lived in the ghetto, man. Christ lived in the ghetto, man. And the real Jews are black. But people get mad at us. We say we're the real Jews. They want to tell us we're not the real Jews based on how we're living. Like based on how you live has anything to do with nationality. Listen, man, the only reason the white man's living how he's living is why? Because he's oppressed us, ruled over us, and beat us down, man, to where we've become nothing. To whereas we believe that he's the real Jew. You read the Bible and believe he's the real Jew when he don't fit not one of the prophecies in there, man. You ask a Jewish man, all right, so what prophecy fits you? He can't tell you, man. He's gonna say, well, Abraham. That's what they say is about Abraham, the land. I don't even know what they say. You say, all right, then. So when did Jews ever go on slave ships, man? Because they went over into the land of Israel comfortably, man. They went over nicely, got it for free. Why? Because everybody felt sorry for them. Why? Because they claimed they got put in the oven. They got put in the oven. Who cares, man? Listen, I'll put a cake in the oven the other day. Who cares, man? What's the big deal, man? They got put in the oven. They got gassed in the chambers. Listen, man. Jewish people died a better way than how the slaves was dying. I'll tell you that. We was getting lynched and hanged and set on fire, man. This man, oh, you know, just a little bit of gas, just a little bit of gas, and you know, they want to cry and they got a whole land off it. So Why we got nothing off being hanged off trees, man? Why we got nothing off of getting our head chopped off? Why we got nothing off of getting our back whipped and after getting our children taken from us? The only thing that they claimed they did is what? Abolish slavery, even though they didn't, because we're still their slaves today. But all they did is what? Abolish slavery and what? We got to what? Not pick cotton the next day. But what did they do? They got paid compensation. They got paid compensation for losing their slaves, which means which means we will never catch them when it comes to being on the property ladder of money. Is because why? Because they've had a great head start, man. Off of all the cotton you picked, they've had a great head start. Off of everything you've done, they've had a great head start, man. So when people say, oh, black people just can't get it together, the thing is this: if this was a relay, they've already started at the finish line, man.
That's right.
And you starting at the beginning of the race, man. So obviously you're not gonna catch up and win the race. It's just common sense. Now, off of your slave money, they've set up NHS, businesses, brought properties, and so forth, brought land, and then they pass it on to their children, who pass it on to their children, who pass it on to their children, and then your great-grandparents, what did they pass down to you? Nothing, because they didn't have nothing to pass down. Just debt and their last name, man. That's it. Just debt and their surname. That's all they could pass down to you, was debt and their surname. Meanwhile, this oppressor, he can pass down riches and wealth and riches. He can buy his children houses, whereas with us, we ain't got that luxury. Why? Because they had a head start. They abolished slavery and didn't give black people no reparations. They said, okay, you're on your own now. Meanwhile, they got a big payout, man. Usually, we the victims, man. We should have got the payout. How is the man that oppressed us getting the payout? They should have took their wealth and all their cotton and everything that they had and gave it to us. And then maybe we wouldn't be so dysfunctional today, man. And this is why when we get money, man, you see how we are. When we get money, we have to flash it, man. Why? Because we ain't used to it, man. We ain't used to getting money, man. Whereas this oppressor, money is just every day to him. Why? Because they raped and robbed the whole earth. Like, you don't just become a billionaire by starting off broke. Usually these millionaires already started off a millionaire, or they started off wealthy. They started off rich and wealthy already. Whereas with us, we're starting with nothing. Go ahead.
Yeah, what happened was when you see people like Trump and so forth, who are millionaires, what happened was their great-great-granddaddy was a slave owner who had millions. And when slavery was abolished and when slavery was illegal, he took that money and put it in banking or put it in stocks and bonds, put it somewhere else and say, you know what, I'll invest in a different business because this business now is now illegal. I'll invest in something else. So all that money he made is put it somewhere else. And then years down the line, here comes Donald Trump, his great-great-grandson, and invest all that money.
Right. And now, he's rich as could be, doesn't have to worry about where his next meal's coming from. Whereas with us, we have to worry, man. Because slavery so-called got abolished and we got left with nothing. But read on.
Pilate therefore heard the saying. He brought YAHANNA forth and sat down in the judgment seat in the place that is called the pavement, but in the Hebrew, Gabbatha. And it was the preparation of the Passover about the 6th hour. And he saith unto the Jews, behold your king.
So he said, behold your king. So he's saying to them, your king. And the black people are saying, well, the Israelites are saying, this ain't our king. He ain't our king. Meaning what? Black people don't want to be ruled over by black people, man. Like, black people would rather be ruled over by an oppressor. And this is why they're saying, he ain't our king, man. Pilate saying, yo, you king. Why? Because Christ is the king of the Jews. They didn't want Christ to rule over them. They want who? Some white men to rule over them. Same like with everything, man. They want, and not basically what they're trying to say, and this is how you know Christ was a black man, man, because nobody wants black people to rule over them. People look at black men like they're not capable. Like black men ain't capable. Like they ain't got a clue what they're doing. Like they don't know how to rule anything. Meanwhile, black men is the greatest rulers on the face of the earth, man. Right. When black people are ruling stuff, it runs properly. When a father's in the house runs properly. That's right. But you sit there listening to press like your views ain't your views, man. Your views is what? The views that is the views of the internet, is what you see on Instagram. Your views is what? The views of Miss R Fabulous, and that's who you learn from, man. who learns from our oppressor also, man. Like you go to influencers for real life issues, man. Listen, man, them influencers can't help you with your issues. And these black men right here wanted to go to a white man to help them with their issues. The thing is this, these devils can't relate with what you're going through, man. They can't relate with what you're going through. Whereas what? Christ can relate with us, man. Why? He was raised in the ghetto like us, man.
That's right.
That's enough. Listen, the white man can't relate to not having a father, man. Because he grew up with his mom and dad in the house. With the white man, his dad's his best friend, man. His dad's his best friend. Whereas how we grew up in the ghetto, what? We grew up without our fathers, man. Some of us are fortunate enough to grow up with our fathers, but the majority of us don't, man. Some of us have to raise ourselves, whereas Esau don't experience that, man. They can't relate to none of our problems. This devil can't relate to being put on child support and your woman not allowing you to see the kids. He can't relate to that, man. Whereas black people can. Like these want to get rid of a man that can relate to their problems, a man that came to die and save them, man. A man that seen how they was living, and a man that wept for them and said, yo, these people deserve a chance, and they wanted to crucify him. Which shows you how much brotherhood Christ had, man. That Christ went through with it, man. And some of his last words was, what? Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do, man. And when Christ said, Father, forgive them, he wasn't talking about forgiving the Romans, man. He weren't talking about forgiving the Romans. He was talking about forgiving the Israelites. How you know he wasn't talking about the Romans? Because in Revelations, he goes, he shall see those that pierced him, man.
That's right.
Meaning, he wants them, man. He's coming back and he's going to get them, man. Go ahead.
Khan, but they cried out, away with him, away with him.
And listen, man, they just wanted him away, man. They wanted him gone, crucified. Meaning they didn't want to hear his voice no more. They didn't want to hear what he had to say no more. Sounds familiar to me. Sounds like what people say about us in the I.S.U.P.K to me. They don't want to hear our voice no more. They want us away with, man. They want the police to keep us off the streets. We don't want to see them no more. The EE shop, they don't want to see us across the EE shop no more. They close the door now when they see us come and set up camp, man. Primark don't want us there no more, man. Why? Because we speak in the words. Meanwhile, there's a man that can play steel pans all day and no one bothers him.
Right.
There's a man that can juggle fire and no one bothers him. There's Jehovah's Witnesses that can stand there all day and no one bothers them.
That's right.
There's a fake Jamaican there that can stand there with his little headphone microphone all day. What you see that fake Jamaican, East Indian one? That fake Jamaican. Some fake Jamaican used to come out to the camp every week. What would happen is he would come out to the camp and try to come up against us and be saying, oh, what you lot are saying is wrong, what you lot are saying is wrong. And then next week he would come back teaching what we was teaching last week, saying, yeah, we know the Jews are black. Then he would start on something else. Seems like he learns from us, but he could never come in because he's East Indian, man. He ain't welcoming these doors, man. I don't care how much scriptures he knows. He ain't welcoming these doors, but go ahead.
Come. Crucify him. Pilate saith unto them, shall I crucify your king? The chief priest answered, we have no king but Caesar.
They said what?
We have no king but Caesar.
They said we have no king but Caesar, man. Meaning the white man's their king. Same like today, man. Our oppressor is black people's king today. His their God today. His who they worship today, man. They said we have no king but Caesar. Meaning these black people was happy to what? Just serve another nation. Happy to just do whatever for another nation. They didn't want to be governed and ruled over by their own people, man. And that's like today. People have this slave mentality, like, oh, I'm just gonna go to work. I'm just gonna live my life and go to work and die. Understand that in the UPK, we want to rule the whole planet Earth, man. We want to rule the whole Earth, man. We ain't satisfied with waking up and working a 9 to 5 for someone. Like some people just stop at that. Oh, I just want to go to work and take care of my family, and that's a slave mentality, man. Listen. If you knew how you was living before, you would understand how you living now ain't living, man. You'd understand how you're living now ain't living. Like the way we living right now, this ain't living. Waking up every day to go slave for some nation, man. And this is why so much black people is happy that we in lockdown, man, because most of them don't have to go to work. Most of them get the privilege of working from home, and they're happy, man. Oh, so much for I love my job. If you love your job, you'd want to go to the office, man. which means you don't really love you. And it's the slave mentality to say, oh, I got my dream job. Don't ever let me hear you say you got your dream job. So your dream is working for somebody else. Like your dream is, I'm gonna wake up and just go work for it. That's not a dream, man. That's a nightmare, man. I got a decent job that pays well, but I hate working for who I'm working for. Now, if you're working for a black man, then I'll be like, all right, fair enough. If it's a family business, I'll let you slide with the dream job talk. But if it's not a family business, you're a good slave, man. Talking about I got my dream job. Listen, man, you shouldn't dream of working for another man. That's not no good dream to have, man. That's a Martin Luther King kind of dream. Go ahead.
And oppressors in every other nation, they don't have dream jobs.
Right.
They have a dream that the Indian man had a dream that one day he owned his own shop, man. That's their dream. The white man got his own dream of being the president, man. Only black people have dream jobs, man. Just want to be, well, what kind of man has a dream slave master, man?
Right. Exactly, man. Who dreams of having a slave master over them, man? That's a weird dream, man. And we've just become conditioned. That's what it is. We've become conditioned. Whereas the way we live in now, if King David and them could see now, they'll be like, damn, how are they content living like that? Like we like, you see that when you go to a zoo, how the lions are just lying down in the cage. They don't know no better. They've just been born and lived in the zoo. Whereas the lion in the jungle that's free, the lion that's free, he knows, man. You put him in that cage, he's gonna be depressed, man. That's right. He's gonna be like, I don't want to be in there. I feel depressed and whatnot. Whereas the ones that are in there, that's all they know. Like imagine you being an animal and someone comes and feeds you. These times usually they go out and hunt their own food, man. They go out, climb trees, get their own food. But now they have to wait for this devil to come around and feed them, man. And that's what our people like, this devil to come around and feed us, man. They like waiting on him, hand and foot, and doing what he says and whatnot. Drop that. Give me Matthew chapter 26 and verse 47.
Matthew
26 and 47.
Matthew 26 and 47. And while he yet spoke, lo, Judas, one of his 12, came, and with him a great multitude.
And listen, man, Christ was there speaking, man. And Judas, one of the 12, came with him, and a great multitude, meaning what? Judas sold out Yahushua, man, for 30 pieces of silver. He sold him out, why? Because he was a thief, man. And the Bible tells you that he was a thief. Like, depending on which gospel you read, one of them it says about the alabaster oil. One says not that he cared for the poor, it's because he was a thief. In one of them, I believe it said that in, I can't remember which one it is. So Judas was a thief also, and this is why you need to keep all the laws. You know why? Because by you starting off as a petty thief, it turns into something else, man. Him starting off as a thief turned into him getting Yahushua murdered, man. Because why? He was angry and he wanted money. And he went up to them and said, what can you give me if I betray him? For his love of money, man. When you love money so much, you'll do whatever, man. You'll be a stripper. You'll do what? Set up OnlyFans. Why? Because you love money so much. Like any man that lets his woman be a stripper for the money, she's going to whore on you, man. She's going to cheat on you, man. Why? Because she loves money more than you. She will do anything for that money. Like you'll say to her, like, what kind of weak man do you have to be to say, don't worry, you can dance in a thong on him, but just don't have sex with him. Just imagine saying that to your woman. You can dance in him on a thong, but just don't have sex with him. What kind of idiot thing is that, man? So, listen, man. If she wants to be a stripper, you just say, all right, Shalom. You tell her, no, you can't do that, man. Because she's going to hold on you, man. What's going to happen is someone like Floyd Mayweather's going to walk in that strip club. Someone like Floyd Mayweather's going to walk in that strip club. And he's going to throw a wad of cash and she's going to have sex with him, man. And then after that, your woman's just going to come back to you. And it's disgusting, man. You'd rather be poor and broke and righteous than be rich and a disgusting sinner, man. Than be rich and a disgusting whore, man. Than be rich and a disgusting homosexual, man. You'd rather be poor than be any of those things, man. Go ahead.
He is at hand. Slakia. Verse 47, Slakia. While he yet spoke, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude, with swords and staves, from the chief priests and of elders.
And they came out with swords and staves, man. Listen, man. They came out with all these weapons. These times, Christ weren't violent to nobody, man. He weren't violent to nobody. People's gonna say, "Oh yeah, you got the cords and beat them up." The what's it called? But he weren't violent to nobody, man. And they came to him like he was a criminal. Like the way they came at him with swords and all these weapons, man. Like they haven't outnumbered him anyway. Go ahead.
Come from the chief priests and elders of the people.
They all came out with weapons, man, to come and kill him, man. These times he's non-violent. He ain't bothering no one. They've come out like that for him, man. Go ahead.
Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign saying.
Now he that what?
Betrayed him, gave him a sign saying.
And you people that leave the school, you betrayed the school, man. And you leave a sign on Facebook, man. You leave your sign on Facebook, man. Back then, Judas would have just sent them a picture of Yahushua on Instagram or Facebook or whatnot. Back then they had no internet. And this right here, this right here lets you know that what? In the book of Acts chapter 13, it said what? Peter was black, right? Simon and them, Peter and the disciples was black. Now the men that came for Christ, they didn't know which one was Christ, which is letting you know that all Christ is black also, man. It's letting you know all of them would have been black. Or Judas would have said the white one. Judas could have said, you see the white one over there, that one. All of them look the same, man. Like they like to say all black people look the same. So now they needed a sign. So Judas said, all right, then the one that I'm going to go and salute, that's the one. I'm going to go salute him. That's the one. So he went and saluted Christ, man. Saluted him, gave him the brotherly salute. These times he's setting him up, man. These times he's setting him. Listen, that must have been the most flimsy salute ever, man. Christ must have knew, like, by the salute. Judas come over with all of them with the swords and said, the one with the, I'm going to salute him. This is the one. Go ahead.
Whomsoever I shall kiss.
Kiss just means a touch. So don't come to one of these feast days and kiss a brother. Don't think a kiss means you kiss a man. Because obviously if you kiss any of these hardcore men in the I.S.U.P.K, I don't know if I'll be able to say this. I don't know if I'll be able to say this. So just before you come, just understand that a kiss is a touch. It's a salute. It's not you putting your lips on a man. That's in church. Go ahead.
It's lucky your misunderstanding of the Bible might cost you your life,
right,
man.
Exactly.
So out of brotherhood and love, we're letting you know now because
Right.
we won't be able to tell men Shema. What's it? Shema, stand down. It'll be too late, man.
I won't be able to stop these warriors if you kiss one of them. So you just when it says kiss, it means a salute. Go ahead.
He, that same is he. Behold him fast.
Hold him fast, meaning hold him tight. The one that salute, that's him. Judas set his brother up, man. And this looks like he betrayed his brother, man. And this looks like us right here. People betray us, man. People betray us in the I.S.U.P.K, man. They come in, you raise them, you do everything for them, man. And what do they do? Leave and speak evil of you, man. Speak evil of you. That's what they do, man. Same thing Judas done is the same thing every fake Israelites done, man. They betrayed their fathers who raised them, man. They was raised by the I.S.U.P.K, and guess what they did? Left the I.S.U.P.K, man. Same thing Judas did. Go ahead.
And wherewith he came to Yahushua and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him.
And he came and saluted him, man, and so forth. Go ahead.
And Yahushua said unto him, Friend, where art thou come?
Christ said, your friend, where are they come? Why? Because Judas is meant to be one of the 12, man. But Christ knew Judas was going to betray him. That's why when he was breaking bread, he goes, one of you is the devil. What about Judas? Go ahead. Now, that doesn't mean Judas was a white man. It means his actions, meaning what? You setting people up, that is actions of a white man, man. Only they set people up, man. That is actions of you selling out your brother for money. That is actions of a white man. Judas was behaving like one of them, but obviously he wasn't one of them. Go ahead.
Verse 50, and Yahushua said, Friend, where art thou come? Then came they and laid hands on Yahushua and took him. And behold, one of them which were with Yahushua stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear.
Listen, man, that takes aim, man. That takes practice. Do you know how small the man's ear is? Listen, man, some of you throw a punch and miss, man. We see the videos, some of you throw a punch and off balance, falling over. Listen, man. What this man did was struck his ear off as a warning shot, man. That's to say, yo, you ain't taking Yahushua. He struck this man's ear off, man. Go ahead.
Khan. Verse 52. Then said Yahushua unto him, put up again thy sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword.
And at this weren't the time for them to be fighting with swords, man. This weren't the time. Why? Because Christ had a mission and the scriptures had to be fulfilled. So Christ is saying, yo, we ain't doing that kind of fighting. What we're going to be doing is what? Is spiritual, man. That's what we're doing right now. It's spiritual. We ain't got to pick up no swords. We ain't got to run out there with no gun saying the Jews are black. You run out there with a gun saying the Jews are black, what's going to happen, man? You're going to die, man. That's right. Police are going to come shoot you down, man. And guess what? You still ain't going to have got your point across. You still ain't going to have got your point across. Whereas you come in here and you learn how to fight the right way, man. Go ahead.
Thinkest thou that I cannot pray to my Father?
What did Christ say?
Thinkest thou that I could not pray to my Father?
Listen, Christ is saying, yo, don't even sweat these up, man. Because I could pray to the Most High, man. I could pray to my Father. Go ahead.
And he will presently give me more than 12 legions of angels.
Now listen, man. Christ is saying, yo, don't let these. Christ is saying, yo, the way these lot come out with swords and staves and the way these lot think they're bad and they're in charge, I can get 12 legions of angels, man. I can get angels with 4 faces, man. I can get angels with wings. Listen, I can get 12 legions of them. Don't worry about these lot, man. We don't need to fight physically with no Edomite. Christ said he can pray. He could pray and get 12 legions of angels, man. But this wasn't the time. But the time is coming when what? Christ is going to return with all them angels. Christ is going to return with all them angels, and all these oppressors is going to go down, man. And all these people who say Caesar's their king or believe in white Jesus, they're going to go down along with the white man, man. That's the day when you're going to see it, man. We don't need no weapons for that. We don't need no swords for that. Go ahead.
But how then shall the scripture be fulfilled?
What?
How then shall the scripture be fulfilled?
How then shall the scriptures be fulfilled? If I pray to the Most High and He sends me all them angels, then the scriptures won't be fulfilled. So Christ could have done it, but He didn't, man. Christ could have got them Pharisees killed, but He didn't, man. Christ could have got all them brothers that came to take Him killed, but He didn't, man. Meaning He had the power to get them killed, but He didn't use the power to get them killed. Now, sometimes we should let you know something, meaning sometimes if you can do something, you don't have to do it. Like sometimes if you've got the power to do something, you don't always have to do it. Like if someone does something to you, you don't always have to react how you want to react. Like you don't need to go harm someone that you know you can beat up already and whatnot. Sometimes we have devils come up to the camp, get a little close, whereas we know we could take them out if we wanted to, man. But just because we got the power and we know we can take them out, it don't mean we have to do it. We just let them run their mouth and make them believe that there's something special, man. But really, there ain't nothing special. Christ said, "You pray in my name, and the Father will do it, man." We could pray for these 12 legions of angels, man. But obviously, we don't want black people to die, so we won't do it, man. We would rather you repent, man. That's why we out there. Like people just think we out there because we're bored and we got nothing to do with our Saturday. Listen, man, there's plenty of things we could be doing with our Saturday, man. But we out there doing the work of the Lord for your sake, man. So you don't die. So your family don't suffer. That's why we out there doing it, man. We ain't doing this for no glory. We ain't doing this to be praised and say, oh, look at him. We ain't doing this for none of that.
That's right.
We doing this, why? Because we instructed to do it and we don't want you to die, man. We want black people to live. Like, we've been dying for too much years. It's about time black people started to live, man.
That's right.
Like, us as black people, we don't know what living is. Like, what we doing right now ain't living. You waking up, going to work, going home, that's not living, man.
That's right.
Living is you keeping the law, statutes, and commandments and being able to wear your jewelry and your brother not stealing it off you, man. Living is what you not robbing your brother, you not shooting your brother, man. That's what living good really is. Go ahead.
In that same hour, Yahushua said to the multitudes, "Are you come out against a thief with swords and staves for you to take me?" And
Christ said, "Yo, as you come out, like you coming out like I'm a thief. I'm a thief. So you come out with all these weapons to take me. Listen, man. Christ ain't being violent towards nobody, man. But the way they've come out with a mob, loads of them. Same like one time when we was at camp, the police came out with batons and everything, man. Remember when they pulled up in the right van, man? They came out to take us like we were some criminals, man. Come to find out, we was just free men reading the Bible, man. We was just free men reading the Bible, and the way they came out is like they wanted to kill us, man. The way they came out against us is how they came out against Christ, man. Go ahead.
I sat daily with you teaching in the temple.
Christ said, I sat daily with you teaching in the temple, man. You could have come then. You were on none of this back then. Daily in the temple, man. I sat there. I sat daily with you teaching, and none of you had nothing to say. Go ahead.
And ye laid no hold on me.
And what?
Ye laid no hold on me.
So Christ is letting them know, listen, man, you cowards, man. You're coming out now with your swords and all of this. But when I sat with you daily, you didn't lay no hold on me. You weren't on all of this when it was just us in the temple. Go ahead.
But all this was done that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. Then all the disciples forsook him and fled.
Then what?
All his disciples forsook him and fled.
And they got afraid, man. Because why? They've seen this army come. This army's come with weapons. And they've all got afraid, man. And that's what you're going to see in the truth. Something happens, and sometimes people get afraid and leave, man. People get afraid and leave, man. Camp will get hectic, man. You never know. Someone next to you might be like, probably say they don't want to. The thing that drops off your thing. So yeah, sometimes times is gonna get rough, man. But you ain't supposed to run away, man. You're supposed to stay there. Like if we at camp, man, and something kicks off, we all gonna die together, man.
That's right.
Or we're all going to kill together, man.
That's right.
That's how it goes. We're all going to die together, or we're all going to kill together. And I'd rather the latter one. We all kill together instead of. How are you going to look your brother in the face knowing that you ran off, man? Tomorrow, innit? You're going to say, oh, yeah, I'm going to say, so where did you go? You're going to be like, oh, man, I was there. Listen, man, the camera's still rolling. We seen you run off, man. We seen you run off, man. You rather die like a man than be a coward, man. Than be known as the man who ran off. And if you do run off, just understand you ain't coming to camp next week. Don't worry, you can stand down. you can stand. We understand. You can stand down. Don't worry, your service isn't needed. You can stand down if you're gonna run off. Whereas we all what? And you just pack up the van and whatnot, and that's it. Whereas men in I.S.U.P.K, we love each other so much that we willing to die for each other, man. We willing to kill and die for each other, man. And you don't find that love outside the I.S.U.P.K. And Christ showed that love right there, whereas he was willing to die for his people, man. Christ showed that love right there. And that's where we get it from. And Christ did die for his people. Before Christ said there's no greater love than this, that a man laid down his life for his brethren. And what did he do? He actually laid down his life for his brothers, man. When he could have called 12 legions of angels, he didn't, man. Why? Because these scriptures needed to be fulfilled. Go ahead.
And they that had laid hold on Yahushua led him away to Caiaphas, the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were assembled. But Peter followed him afar off until
the others fled. Peter didn't. Peter followed from afar off. But obviously there's a mob of people. So Peter's following from afar off. Peter wants to see, yo, this man's my brethren, man. Let me just see what's happening, man. Obviously Peter knew that there was nothing he could do to really help. Why? Because he's outnumbered. They've got swords and whatnot. And he's just following in the background. Go ahead.
Unto the high priest's palace, and went in and sat with the servants to see the end. Now the chief priests and elders and all the council sought false witness against Yahushua.
Sought what?
False witness against Yahushua.
These are the chief priests, you know, and the elders and the false witnesses, man. Why? Meaning what? When you're a false witness, what do you need to do? Like claim to have witnessed something that hasn't taken place, man. Now people get if I call you gay or something, people on Facebook will say you're bearing false witness. I didn't say I witnessed anything. I'm just slandering you, man. I'm dissing you. It's a cussing match, man. People get the two mixed up. People think a false witness is me saying you're an idiot. That's not me being a false witness. Yeah, exactly. A false witness is someone who claims to witness something, man. And in order to do that, you have to go before someone and say, I witnessed this. Like when you go to court, what do they have? A witness on the stand who says, I seen such and such do this. Now, someone who takes the stand and says, I seen such and such steal, and that person didn't steal, that person would be a false witness. That's all it is. But Christians don't understand the Bible, and they believe a false witness is me calling you an idiot. Oh, so what? You being a false witness saying I'm an idiot? Look. These fake Israelites spend too much time on Facebook and don't understand the Bible. Go ahead.
Come. Now the chief priests and elders and all the council sought false witness against Yahushua.
They also false witness, man. They lied and claimed that they witnessed things that they didn't witness. Same like what? People do that about us, claim they witnessed things that they didn't witness.
It's like they say we beat our women.
Right.
People swear black. People say this. People say this. I don't know shit. They're
Right.
like, oh yeah, the U.P.K came and beat their women, and they say it like they've witnessed it happen or something.
The U.P.K man beat their. You ask our women, man. You come to the UK school and you ask our women, man. Do we beat them, man? You ask them, which is a lie. Like, well, it is, yeah, it's because we look so rough. They just assume, like, people just assume that you, because you look rough, you beat your woman up. Listen, we don't beat our women up, man. We love our women. We don't beat them up, man. That's all of that's a lie. Whoever's telling you that it's nonsense, tell them show you a woman that's actually been beaten. Tell them show you one. You tell them show you the woman that's been beaten. Which is a lie. They'll tell you all of this and none of it's true. Go ahead.
But found none. Yea, though many false witnesses came, yet found they none. At the last time, two false witnesses. Okay, at the last came two false witnesses.
Two false witnesses, man. Two false witnesses came. Why? Because they hated Christ that much. They hated their brother that much that what? They was willing to lie and get him killed, man. Whereas if they knew the law like they claimed they did, in the law it says, don't bear false witness. Don't stand against the blood of your neighbor. And that's what they did, man. They bared false witness and stood there while Christ got killed. Meanwhile, they knew what they said was wrong. Meanwhile, they knew what they witnessed was fake. Go ahead.
Yeah, and this is such black leaders, man. Talk one thing, and then do the next. Talk about, the Holy Ghost and whatnot. Meanwhile, they allowed two men to marry.
Right.
Like these men said, what? So we got a law. Talk about the law, and in that same law, it said, "Don't bear false witness, man."
Right.
They said we got a law, talking about we got a law, and a man like that should die. In that same law, it says you can't have a king over you that ain't black. And
right.
they say we got no king but Caesar.
Right. Which lets you know, right? That's heaven, man. Which lets you know what the Pharisees didn't keep the law, man. They didn't keep the law, but they taught you to keep it, but they didn't keep it. Go ahead.
Come and said, "This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of God and to build it in 3 days."
Go ahead.
And the high priest arose and said unto him, "Answerest thou nothing? What is it which these witnesses against thee?" And Yahushua held his peace. And the high priest answered and said unto him, "I adjure thee by the living God, that thou tell us whether thou be the Christ, the Son of God." Yahushua said unto him, "Thou hast said, nevertheless I say unto you, hereafter ye shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power."
Christ said, yo, you're going to see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, man. Meaning what? You're going to see me come with great power, meaning when he returns, man. Christ is saying, don't worry. You don't do what you're going to do now, but don't worry. I'm going to sit on the right hand side of the Most High. And Christ is coming back one day, man. And people are going to have to answer to him, man. Them legions of angels that Christ said he could call, Christ is returning with them, man. Which lets you know, man, the end is going to be what? For Christ and the men that follow him, it's going to be sweet, man. Why? Because they're serving Christ, man. They're going to be beside him. And if you're one of the enemies of Christ, you're going to be on the other side, man. You're going to be the ups in that day, man. You're going to be the ups in that day, man. Who Christ is going to be running down, man. Who Christ is going to slide on you, man. Some slang for you. Go ahead.
And coming in the clouds of heaven, then the high priest rent his clothes, saying, "He hath spoken blasphemy. What further need have we of witnesses?"
Listen, this high priest just wanted Christ to be killed, man. This man's meant to be one of the leaders of Israel. And this is how it goes, man. These Christians do the same thing. They lie on you and whatnot. Like straight away, if you walk into a church and you be like, oh yeah, because it's in the video of the Israelites, what does your pastor say? The evil, the liars, the this, salvation's for all people, but then he can't prove it. Salvation's for all people, but then he can't prove it. Oh, they don't have the spirit of the Lord. And then everyone and then you hear all these silly grandmas in there, amen. All these silly grandmas in there, amen. Listen, man, you grandmas just be quiet, man, but amen. You don't even know what you're saying amen for. You don't understand the Bible. We do, man. How do I know my grandma used to go to church and she used to say amen for everything, man? Listen, I love my grandma, but she used to say amen for everything. I love my grandma, but when it comes to what? Serving the Lord, I have to put the Lord above her, man. I can't be going what's that thing where about 1 million churches is it conservatory? No, what's it? Nonsense. A convention. All these churches coming together. Listen, no word of a lie, man. As a Christian, listen, Cruff, you see them conventions. The women would come from every other church. Listen, man, only like them conventions. Why? Because you're seeing women come from all over the country, from London, Manchester. Listen, that is the carnival, man. The church convention is the carnival, man.
That's right.
That's all it is. The church convention is the carnival. So men dress up their best, women dress up their best. Why? Because they're looking for each other, man. Understand this, you can find love without the church, man. And in the church, you don't find love in the church. In the church, the church, the best you get out of the church is what? A fling. In the church, you just have an affair. That's all they have in the church is a fling and an affair. And then before you know it, you find that she's got a husband and whatnot. And this man probably knew she had a husband. And that's church. And it's all messy and disgusting. There's nothing in place that stops everyone from having sex with everyone, man. Them conventions is just like a big orgy. Especially when them Christians do them camping ones. Ooh, the amount of women that probably end up pregnant there. For some man, for some man they're never going to see again. And come home and going to say it's a virgin birth. The Lord was at the convention. That's probably what we're going to say. The Lord overshadowed me at the convention. Listen, all of them things is garbage. The Lord didn't get you pregnant. Well, it is you're a whore that had sex with 3-4 different men. You don't know who the father is. So the most suitable one, the one who you think will look after your child the best, the one who you think's the dumbest out of the 4, that's the one you often choose. You know the idiot out of the pack who will just take whatever you say. That's the one you often choose. The pushover, the soft one. If she's telling you that, it's because she knows you the softest one there, man. It's because out of all the men she slept with, she knows you're the weakest and you're the softest and you're the only one that's going to put up with her nonsense. She knows she can't go to the other men and tell them that, and because they ain't going to fall for it. But there's a reason why she's telling you that. Like, it's like with anything, there's sometimes where people only come to you for certain things. Why? Because they know other people ain't going to put up with their nonsense. Other people ain't going to put up with their nonsense. So they come to you. Was anyone that is that about it?
Now you have heard his blasphemy. What think ye? They answered and said, he is guilty of death.
He is what?
Guilty of death.
He is guilty of death, man. And then after that, they took him, made him carry his cross, smacked him, spat on him, hit him in the face and so forth. But for time's sake, drop that. Give me John chapter 13 and verse 16.
John 13 and 16. Verily, verily, I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord.
The what?
The servant is not greater than his Lord.
So the servant ain't greater than his Lord, man. Meaning, what Christ went through, some of us is gonna have to go through that too, man.
That's right.
They killed our king, which means what? They would also kill you. They punched him in the face and spat on him, which means what? Don't be surprised when they do these things to you. Some people come up to the camp and try to spit on people at the camp, which is disgusting, man. The same thing they're doing to you, they would do the same thing if Christ was here today. But they will tell you, no, we love Christ, but we hate you. The thing is this, you can't love Christ and hate us. By you loving us shows that you love Christ. By you loving us shows that you love the Most High. How can you love the Most High but hate his sons, who is us, man? It don't make no sense. You can't have it both ways, man. Either you love us and you love the Most High, or you hate us and you hate the Most High. It's that simple. To anyone that is that it, I think that's it, innit? Give me John chapter 15 and verse 18.
John 15:18. If the world hate you,
If the what?
if the world hate you,
If the world hate you, listen, man, the world doesn't hate Christians, man. The world loves them. So this nullifies them from what Christ is saying, man. Says, if the world hate you, and who does the world hate? The I.S.U.P.K. Who tries to flag all our videos? Every other nation tries to flag our videos, hate speech, this, that, phones the police on us. If the world hate you, the world hates us, man. Go ahead, go ahead.
you know that it hated me before it hated you.
And this world hates Christ, man. And this world hated Christ before it hated us. This world's always hated Christ, but they would give you this notion that they love him when really they hate him, man. If everybody loved Christ, there would all be all these black people that in church that claim they love Christ, they would all be in the I.S.U.P.K. But they're not here. Why? Because they love the world and Christ is against the world, so they hate Christ, man. But they make out to you like we love him more than you like do, and we sing praises to his name, and we do this and take me to the King and all of them songs, and Kirk Franklin, isn't it Kirk Franklin? Kirk Franklin and all of them, man. Like like in church, they actually believe that's a man of God. Like read the Bible, read how Samson was whooping them Africans, man.
That's right.
Read how Samson was whooping them Africans with a jawbone and all of them things, man. Like just read about it. Do you think any Christian man could do that? That smiles all day. Like a Christian man just smiles all day and plays the guitar and the piano. Listen, man. Samson was a warrior, and you don't find a man like Samson in church.
That's right.
You don't find a man like David in church.
That's right.
You don't find a man like David's mighty men in church, man. Them men wouldn't be in church, because church is a place where you lie down and people just roll over you. The thing is this, people are scared of Christ because Christ was an austere man. When you look at the I.S.U.P.K, people are afraid of us and say, damn, you lot look scary. They say, you lot look scary, man. Why? Because men of the Lord ain't supposed to look sweet, man. How do you expect? Listen, the thing is this, like with church, they don't appeal to these so-called gangsters, man. These so-called gangsters look at these Christians like the soft. They could never be one of them. But when they see us, they can get down with us, man. Because what they find out is we're more gangster than them, man. That's what they find out, man. They find out we're more rough than them. Like imagine these gangsters that shoot people come to us on the side and say, damn, you lot should be careful here, because what you're saying, I'm thinking, damn, but you shoot people for a living. I'm thinking you've got the ruler clip. I'm thinking you're the one with the ruler clip, the extended magazine. And you're scared of what we do, which lets you know, man, that we are the men of the Lord, man. Listen, man, this job isn't for everybody, man. Only certain men can do this, but go ahead.
Know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love his own.
If what?
You were of the world would love his own.
If we was of the world, it would love us, man. Why does it love its own? Why? Because people in the world do what the rest of the world does. Christmas, Easter, Eid, all of them things, Diwali, homosexuality. The world loves its own. Why? Because the world, that's what the world wants. Like when they killed Christ, they hated Christ and wanted him dead. Why? Because the world loves its own, and Christ wasn't of the world, man. Christ was telling them, don't do this, don't do that. There's going to be a new government coming, which is blacks and Hispanics ruling. They couldn't have that, man. Because they was of this world where what? They wanted to do what white people do. They wanted to do what Caesar and them do. They wanted to do what the oppressor does. That's how they wanted to live. Go ahead.
But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world.
What?
I have chosen you out of the world. Therefore, the world hateth you.
And listen, man, you hate us, but the Lord loves us, man. So what do we care? I mean, you not loving us. I mean, what does that mean? You not loving us? What does that mean for us? I mean, do you think we care that you don't love us? I mean, who are you? Like, what is your status that we must care that you don't love us? Like, people always come up to campus and say, oh, look at you. Like, what makes you think that we care about you? I mean, you're a drug addict, man. I mean, you're a drug addict that smokes weed all day, takes drugs all day, and blows balloons all day. That next one you see when they're blowing the balloons, like, you're a crackhead. Like, why do you think we care that you don't love us? You don't even love yourself. I mean, how do we expect you to love us and you don't even love yourself? By all the drugs you're putting in your system, by all that illicit sex you're having, you're buying prostitutes, yeah, you go into brothels. I mean, you say things about us, but guess what? We don't need to go to brothels, man. We got women, man. Whereas you can't get women, so you have to go to the brothel and part with your last 40 pound, man. You have to part with your last 40 pounds because you can't get women. And you think we care about your opinion? Listen, man, we don't care about your opinion, man. Try getting yourself a woman, but go ahead.
Remember, Sakia, if you are of the world will love his own. But because I have chosen you, but because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you.
Therefore what?
The world hateth you.
Listen, man, this world hates us, man. And we should embrace it, man. We should be like, okay, then. They're in them hating us, it means we doing the work of the Lord, man. In them hating us, it shows we in the truth. Now, if everybody loves you, then you're not in the truth and you're not doing something right. Now, when they hate you, it lets you know, all right, then I'm doing something right. Now, don't get this confused with people hating you because every time you come to your families, you rob their money or you've molested someone's kid. Don't get that mixed up. People will hate you for them things. This is talking about people hating you and you ain't done nothing wrong, man. They're hating you for righteousness' sake. That's why Christ said, "What bless those that persecute you that hate you for righteousness' sake." We know they hate us, man. And guess what? We don't let that stop us. Some people be like, "Oh, what's the point going out there because they all hate us?" Understand this, man. Out of all of them that hate us, there's going to be a few that love us, man. There's going to be a few that the Lord's chosen who's going to come in here. So let them hate us, man. Don't ever feel down that they hate you. Just understand that when they hate you, just understand that Christ is with you and you're doing the work of the Lord. That's what you need to understand. By their hatred, lets you know that you're doing the right thing. Because when you was a Christian, everyone loved you. When you was parting with your last 40 pound to buy whores, everyone loved you. When you was going to strip clubs, everyone loved you. When you were celebrating Christmas and Easter and birthdays, everybody loved you. But now you're not doing those things of the world. Everyone hates you, and now you become weird. You're strange. You're weird. He's not right in the head no more. Like, there's some people that actually believe that we're not right in the head. I mean, the thing is this: they're not right in the head. Why would you want to pay for sex? A man who wants to pay for sex is not right in the head. Why would you want to blow on balloons? A man that blows on balloons to get high, he's not right in the head. A man that sniffs cocaine, he's not right in the head. A man that smokes weed and drugs and heroin, he's not right in the head. A man that wants to marry outside of his race, he's not right in the head.
That's right.
But they make out like we ain't right in the head when everything that they're doing shows that they ain't right in the head, man.
That's right.
You are right in the head. You're doing the right thing and they're doing the wrong thing. They're wrong in the head, man, by everything that they're doing, man. But I read on.
Remember the word that I said unto you.
And remember the word, man. Remember these words of Christ, man. When you're going through hard times, you remember these words, man. Remember how Christ was treated and remember how you're treated. And you will see the same thing. Go ahead.
The servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will persecute you also.
If what?
If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you.
So bring on the persecution, man.
That's right.
Bring it on, man. Listen, we got tough skin, man. You can say whatever you want about us, man. This was on the internet. Listen, we got tough skin, man.
That's right.
But what I've realized is everybody that disses us on the internet, when they see us face to face, it's, have you noticed it's different? It's different when they see us face to face. But on the internet, everybody's tough. Everybody's bad. Everybody's got an opinion. But, when you see us face to face, it's something totally different. Go ahead.
If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also.
And listen, man, why you keeping these sayings? What you keeping these sayings and following the priests and prophets of the Lord in the I.S.U.P.K? You're keeping the words of Christ, man. You're keeping the sayings of Christ. Now, if you're not doing that, you ain't keeping Christ's sayings. Go ahead.
But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake.
For what?
For my name's sake.
All these things they'll do for Christ's name's sake, meaning what? They'll throw you in jail. They'll try to kill you. Your family will cut you off. Your family will kick you out the house and so forth. Your partner will leave you and so forth. These things happen, man. You come into the truth. Your partner's like, oh, I can't be seen with him. He's gone crazy. You know why she can't be seen with you? Why? Because her parents is going to be asking, well, what's he into? Because I've seen him out there with a headpiece and shouting on the microphone, and she can't take the embarrassment. And she has to be like, you know what? I can't be with you no more. Her friends will see you. Her friends will see you. Her friends will see you and go back to her with a picture. Is this such and such? And she wants to lie and say it's not him. She wants to lie and say it's not him. So forth. Listen, man, it ain't easy being in here, man. Go ahead. Ain't easy being here. Sometimes you're gonna be at camp and you're gonna see people that you know, and all they're gonna hear is you shouting, man. They're gonna hear you shouting, saying the real Jews are black, and they're gonna be looking at you like, huh? They're gonna be looking at you like, huh? You said the Jews are black. They're gonna look at you speaking Hebrew, be saying, yo, what's he saying? Now they confuse that for you being mad, when really you ain't mad. But what you're doing is right, man. What you're doing is of the Lord, man. Go ahead.
Come. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me.
Because what?
They know not him that sent me.
And by their lack of understanding, they don't know the Lord. So by what you're doing, it seems foreign to them, and they don't understand it. And the reason they don't understand it is why? Because they don't know the Lord. Whereas if they did know the Lord, they would understand what you're doing is biblical. What they would understand is how you dress is biblical, how what you eat is biblical. That's what they would understand. They would understand that everything that you eat is biblical, that you keep the dietary laws. Like they can't fathom that you don't eat pork. They can't understand it. In their mind, it's like, wow, you don't eat pork. Why? Because they don't know the Lord, man, and they don't know the laws of the Bible. Go ahead.
But all these things they will do to you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin.
Meaning what? If Christ didn't come and speak to them, and they didn't know better, then obviously they just didn't know better. But when you're at camp and you speak to them, they no longer they don't have no cloak for their sin. Why? Because they know better. You've told them don't eat pork. Now if they still go and eat pork after that, they've got no cloak for that, man. We sent out there why? So we can tell you what not to do. Don't do this, don't do this. And then if after that you go and do it, you ain't got no cloak for you. You ain't got no excuse. You can't be like, I didn't know better. The Lord be like, I sent prophets out there and you mocked them. You laughed at their boots and so forth. They were telling you not to eat pork, but you found it funny to record them and laugh at their boots. You don't have no cloak for your sin no more. Go ahead.
But now they have no cloak for their sin.
But now they have no cloak for their sins, meaning, yo, what happens to them is going to happen to them because they knew the right way. They was told it and they chose to disregard it. Like in church, they disregard everything, man. Everything which is written in the Bible, they disregard it and they don't take it serious. And to them, it don't mean nothing. To them, it's just nonsense that means nothing at all. They disregard everything which is written of in the Bible, man. Yeah, go ahead.
He that hateth me hateth my Father also.
He that what?
Hateth me hateth my Father also.
Christ said, he that hateth me hateth my Father also. Meaning what? In church, they hate God and they don't even know it, man. They think they love him, singing all these songs. They hate him, man. Whereas if they was in here, they would know how to truly love God by keeping his law, statutes, and commandments, man. By having brotherhood. But they hate God. Meanwhile, they think they love him. Like they say, I can't wait for God to come down. Oh, God's with me. Like every day you hear someone say, God's with me, and the truth is he ain't with them, man. Why? Because they hate him. And by how they treat you, shows how they would treat Christ if he was here. By how they treat you, shows how they would treat the Most High if he was down here. If they treat you horribly, that's how they would treat Christ, man.
That's right.
If they treat you with love, then they would treat Christ with love. But everyone treats us with hate. Why? Because they hate the Most High. And they don't know it, man. This earth hates God and they don't even know it. They've been taught lies by the Christian church. They've been taught that they love God when really they hate God, man. But drop that, give me Matthew chapter 10 and verse 16.
Matthew 10:16. Behold, I sent you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves.
This is what we're supposed to be, man. Wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Meaning, what does a serpent do? A serpent does what goes in its tail and attacks when it has to. You don't just attack recklessly. It picks this moment, it waits, weighs it up, waits for you to get a little close and so forth. But we need to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, meaning what? A dove don't hurt nobody. That's how we're supposed to be. And that's how we are when we're at camp. We don't harm nobody, man. But if you try and step into the camp, just understand you might not have a chance to step out of it. Reader.
That's right.
You might not have a chance to step out of it.
That's
Just be safe out there, please. For your own safety, just be safe out there. Just, don't try press upon us and none of that nonsense. Because we ain't your Christian church that has men pushing up on us. No, men don't push upon us. Go ahead.
And harmless as doves, but beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils.
Same way how Judas delivered up Christ, man. Beware of men. They'll deliver you up to the councils, meaning they will sell you out, man. They will sell you out. Go ahead.
And will scourge you in their synagogues.
Listen, man, they'll take you to the council, scourge you in their synagogues, man. Go ahead.
And ye shall be brought before the governors.
And listen, you shall be brought before governors, meaning what? By you doing the work of the Lord, sometimes you might have to go to court, man. Sometimes the police might come out and you might have to go to court and so forth because you're doing the work of the Lord and this world hates it. Go ahead.
And kings for my name's sake.
And you're going to have to come in front of these white men who have power, these white men who believe they got power to do whatever, these high up there white men. You'll get carried in front of them. Go ahead.
For a testimony against the Gentiles.
A testimony for them and against them and the Gentiles, man. Go ahead.
But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak.
And when they deliver you up, you don't need to worry about what you're going to say, man. You don't need to be writing down things on a piece of paper saying, I'm going to say it like this. I'm going to say it like that. You don't need to be writing it down on no piece of paper. Go ahead.
For it shall be given you that same hour when ye shall speak.
And it shall be given you that same hour what ye shall speak. And listen, man, you know how I know this is true? Because one time I had to go to the police station, man, because we was at camp and some man with his fingernails painted said that, we called him derogatory terms. He goes that we said that he's a warrant. I remember, the policeman was like, you called him a warrant and this and that. So I had to go to the police station, man. I've sat down in the police station. The policeman's got on his boots. I've got on my boots. The policeman's got on his uniform. I've got on my UPK uniform. He's asked me, how's things going, sir? And I was thinking, damn, this man knows I outrank him. I was like, this police officer knows I outrank him. Go ahead. Oh yeah, then was asking questions. And in there, them were like what Christ said, the mouth shall be given you what ye shall speak. We left that interview room. The policeman said I'll be in touch. This was 2016. I'm still waiting for him to get in touch, man. I'm still waiting for it. 5 years later, I'm still waiting for him to get in touch, man. 2 weeks after that, I seen him come out to the camp and all he asked us was we all right, and kept it moving. Listen, man, you trust the Lord, man. The Lord will give you the mouth of what to say, man. We was in the interview room. Imagine, we didn't have no solicitor. We ain't been to no law school or nothing. And we went in there, man. And that police officer said I'll be in touch, and now he ain't been in touch, man. I need to find out if he's still alive, actually. I say, I'm still waiting for you from 5 years ago, man. But I read on.
For it shall, Sakya, for it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you.
But the Spirit of the Father speaks. The Lord speaks for us, man. And when we at camp, that's not us speaking, that's the Lord speaking, man. You need to understand, man, that ain't us speaking, that's the Lord speaking. Go ahead.
And the brother shall deliver up the brother
Meaning
to death.
What? Two brothers that are meant to be tight, man, that are meant to be close, would deliver you up to death. Judas done that to his brother, man. He was offended by Christ, man. He was offended by the truth. He came in and thought it wasn't the truth and left, man. Was offended by it. Delivered up Christ, his brother, man. People try and deliver you up, man. That's what people try and do. Go ahead.
And the children shall rise up against their parents
Go ahead.
and cause them to be put to death.
So forth, man. Family turning on family. When you come in the truth, that's what you see. Family turning on family. You see, oh, mom says, you keep watching them Israelite videos, I'm going to kick you out. And then she kicks you out. Let her kick you out then, man. Let her kick you out, man. Yeah, your wife, you're watching them Israelite videos. You keep watching them Israelite videos and cutting off the internet. Well, fine, cut the internet off, don't worry. I've saved it to my phone. Don't worry, man. You let her do that, man. Let them do what they're going to do. They're going to try to do all these things, but obviously it don't mean you put yourself in harm's way for someone to deliver you up to get killed. But people will turn on you. Like, you think coming in here is going to be an easy walk and your family's going to be with you the whole step of the way. Nah, man. Your family ain't going to be with you the whole step of the way. What your family's going to do is turn on you. Like, you see that family that you love so much? They're going to turn on you, man, for the words of the Lord. And because you love them, you're going to feel like you're in between a rock and a hard place. Like, what do I do? You stay in the truth, man. You stay in the truth, because guess what will happen? You will leave the truth to be with that family member, and it will never be the same anyway. They will always betray you anyway. Whereas what? In here, you will never get betrayed, man. No one will never ill-treat you. No one will ever treat you bad and forsake you. No one will ever betray you in here. And let your family leave you. Guess what? Once you come in here, you have a family, man. You have a bigger family, man. You have a family that's not willing to pick up the phone to you at 2 a.m, man. You have a family that's willing to drive miles to you. You have a family that's willing to send you money when you need it and whatnot. Right. Whereas your family in the world ain't doing none of that for you. The thing is this, our families in the world ain't even all that great anyway. Who cares if they leave, man? Let them. Like you're acting like your family mean the world to you. What have they ever done good for you? Nothing, man. Whereas in here, this is a real family. People say, no, my mom said if I leave the truth, she's gonna stop speaking to me. Listen, man. Your mom used to go to the club and leave you in the house by yourself anyway. When has she ever cared about you, man? When has your mom ever cared about you? She's never cared about you, man. Whereas you come in here, people will care about you. Let them leave, man, if they want. Go ahead.
But he that endureth to the end shall be saved.
What?
He that endureth to the end shall be saved.
That's what we need to do. Go ahead.
But when they persecute you in this city, flee ye into the other.
Go ahead.
For verily I say unto you, ye shall not have gone over all the cities of Israel until the Son of Man come.
Meaning the work of the Lord don't stop, man. The work of the Lord don't stop. There's other cities you can go to, man. One city don't receive you well, that's fine. Go to another city, man. If one city don't receive you well, there's other cities, man. You can go wherever, man. Go ahead.
The disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord.
Go ahead.
It is enough for the disciple that he be as his master and the servant as his Lord, if they have called the master of his house Beelzebub.
And they called what? Beelzebub meaning what? Something to do with demons, meaning the Lord of demons, something like that, some nonsense. The Lord of demons. They were saying that Christ was doing the work of the Lord with what? Demons and whatnot. They was trying to say the power weren't coming from the Lord, it was coming from demons. Like today you would call it what? Like witchcraft and whatnot. They would say he was doing all of them kind of things. That's where they were saying the power was coming from. Go ahead.
How much more shall they call them of his household?
How much more shall they call them of his household? They call us everything under the sun, man. Like some of the names they call us. Christ is saying, yo, if they called me that, what do you think they're going to call you? Don't worry, man. Let them call us that, because guess what? The day is coming when the Lord's going to return and they ain't going to be calling us none of them things, man. What you need to understand is everybody who's not in the truth, they're already losing, man. They need to get in the truth, man, to be on this winning team. Everybody talks about, oh, they love God and God's the most powerful, this and that. Now, if you did love God and if you did understand the Lord was the most powerful, you'd be in here with us. But obviously, I guess your life's so great that you got other things to do. I guess your life's so great and, you know, you got better things to do than being here. I mean, your life's so fun and you're rich and life's great and, you know, there's no need for you to be in here. That's how some people think their life ain't great, man. There's nothing great about their life. Go ahead.
How much more shall they call them of his household? Fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid shall not be known. For I tell you, for what I tell you in darkness, that speak ye in light.
He said, what I tell you in darkness, that speak ye in light, man. Meaning what? The breakdowns that Christ was giving his disciples, man. The questions that they was asking Christ. Christ is saying, you go speak that in the light, man. Meaning, like, say for instance, if you go to a brother for a breakdown, obviously he gives you the breakdown behind closed doors. You go to camp and speak it in the light, man. You go break it all the way down. That's what it means when it says, what about I tell you in darkness, you go and speak it in light. Everything that Christ is telling us here, when Christ was speaking to just his disciples right here, Christ was telling them these things. Christ is saying, you go speak in the light, man. You go tell the people that what? They're going to be hated for my name's sake. Parents shall betray you. Sons and so forth shall betray you. Christ is saying, go speak that in the light. Let everybody know, man. Go ahead.
And what ye hear in the ear, that preach ye upon the housetop.
And what you hear, man, you preach it upon the housetops, meaning it don't literally mean go stand on the house. That's how Christian reads it. It means you have to climb on the house and then you fall off a roof and break your back. Christianity is so dumb. Like you think you're doing the work of the Lord and climb on a roof and break it, drop off and break your back. And it's just your own stupidity. Preaching from the housetops just means preach it out in the open loud. That's all it means. But Christian reads it and thinks he needs to climb on the roof of his house. Listen, man, if you're going to do that, be careful. Some of them tiles in the roof is slippery, man. You're going to go up there and you're going to slide off that roof, man. Because you don't understand the Bible. So everything you read is verbatim to you. But I read on. Really? Yeah, 27.
What I tell you in darkness, that speak ye in light, and what ye hear in the ear, that preach on the housetop. And fear not them which can kill the body.
Meaning what? Don't fear the white men and whatnot because they've got guns and tanks and that it can kill you. Don't be scared of them that can kill you. Like don't fear them that just kill the body. Because listen, you're coming back anyway, man. This is the thing. In church, you believe YOLO, you only live once. So you fear them that kill the body, man. Understand this. You kill us, don't worry. We'll come back in the reincarnation and be doing the same thing again, man. Who cares, man? You can't stop us. Read on.
But are not able to kill the soul.
They can't kill your soul, man. Go ahead.
But rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
Fear him which can destroy both soul and body in hell. Meaning what? You can be born in the ghetto, man, and the Lord can give you cancer. You look at someone with cancer, man, that's soul and body destroyed in hell, man. They live in the ghetto, can't even get the proper medical care, man. They can't even get good medical care, man. That's what your soul and body being destroyed in hell is. You being destroyed, you watching someone wither away with cancer, man. Have you ever seen a cancer patient where they go so skinny that they don't want to see no guests? They don't want to see no guests because they're that embarrassed. That's your soul and body destroyed in hell, man. Where the Lord can destroy your soul and your body, where every day you just want to die, man. Or where you're paralyzed from the neck down, man. You can only move your eyes. You just want to die, and every day you wake up to the same thing. That's you. That's your soul and body destroyed in hell, man. That's you in a horrible condition. Fear that, man. Fear the Lord that can do that to you. Don't fear some white man that can just shoot you and then you just come back in the reincarnation and do the same thing again. Don't fear him, man. He can only shoot you and you come back and do exactly the same thing again. Imagine he's going to shoot you and guess what? You're going to die and come back. Come back whenever the Lord wants you to. The white man's the devil the same way. Listen, man. Don't fear him. He can only kill the body. And guess what the Lord will do? Give you a new body. That's it, man. Read on.
Are not 2 sparrows sold for a farthing?
2 sparrows, which is what? It's like a penny, right? It was an old English penny, I believe.
Yeah, they used to have a bike called a penny farthing because one wheel was big, one wheel was small. Like one wheel resembled the penny, the other wheel resembled the farthing, so they called it penny farthing.
So it's like a penny. It says are not 2 sparrows, which means cheap. 2 sparrows are sold for that. Go ahead.
And one of them shall not fall on the ground without your father.
One of them little sparrows can't die unless the Most High ordains it, man. One of them can't die unless the Lord gives the order. And that's like with everything, man. Nothing can die unless the Lord gives the order, man. Go ahead.
But the very
like it tells you here what a farthing is. It says it is in value a half penny farthing in the original as being the 10th part of the Roman penny. So it was the 10th part of a Roman penny. Go ahead.
but the very hairs of your head are all numbered.
Hairs on your head are even numbered, man. Who cares about you give the white man too much respect, man. Start respecting the Most High, man. You give this devil way too much respect. With that brings us to the end of the class. So we'll continue next week.
Okay, shalom. Give brother a hand.